what is your take on phone sex among Christian couples in long distance marriage? Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ayodele Fash. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. If you're a returning subscriber, you already know I love you. You know I appreciate you guys. Thank you for always coming back. Okay, so today again I have you people's fave on the channel. Last week we promised to answer the questions that we could not get to in our last video. First of all, thank you guys so very much for the responses on the video. A lot of you came to watch, a lot of you that I've not seen in a long time. I saw your comments. Thank you a lot. Okay. And then I also want to say a very big thank you for as many of you that registered for the interview that I asked to have on my channel last week. Like, I posted the video and within 12 hours we already hit our target, and then people kept on registering. Thank you guys so very much. If I did not reach out to you, it's because either because you didn't fit into the category or we just had too much people. Okay, so thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, so anyways, before I go too far, I have my husband here. So Mr. Nuggets, can you introduce you? If you don't get the joke, you were not here last week. Mr. Nuggets, please introduce yourself.
Okay, all right, no other. She first to do not the pain. All right, good. Yeah, Chineke.
No be me kuku call you Nuggets. Now them they call you, please, please.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Mr. Nuggets.
My name is Mr. What?
My name is Mr. Nuggets. Since that's the name.
Your name is not Mr. Nuggets, babe. Introduce yourself. Let's hurry up. You know you have work tomorrow.
Tell me something. All right. Hello guys. Name is Wale. It's a pleasure to be back here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you as always. Anyway, so today we'll be answering some of the questions that you have, that some of you asked, that we could not get to in our last video. Okay, so the first question, well, somebody, I think she edited her question. She said, Mrs. Fash, please, I'm currently watching your video with Mr. Fash, and I remember the question that I wanted to ask. How do you make videos with Mr. Fash and join it together? I keep having this question all the time. People DM me to ask. Okay, so I really need the information for my YouTube channel. So if you want to know how I do the video, basically me and Mr. Fash, we are on a Zoom call. Can you guys, sorry, there's reflection from my window, but you can see that we are both on a Zoom call. We also have our earpiece connected, which we use to hear each other. So it's almost like we're on a Zoom call, but we have our camera set where we answer the questions. Okay, so in case you cannot, there are other applications you can use. You can use StreamYard and all, but because of network quality in Nigeria, StreamYard does not always work out, right? Because it just keeps skipping and stuff. So what we do is we go on the Zoom call, turn off our video, but we listen to each other and just act as if we are seeing, as if we are together, or we are on a call whilst recording ourselves. I hope that explains it. So that's what we do. Or you can go for alternative like StreamYard if you want to record, like do whatever we're doing. Okay, all right. So I think the last question that we answered last week was, the last question we answered was from Abiodun. I think I remember. He said how you're coping with Naira outside Nigeria and all of that. That was his question. And then Mary asked, when am I coming back? Which we said, keep on watching, you are going to find out. Okay, all right, so let us move on. Green, that's the person's name, said, so I was dating this guy and I ended the relationship myself, but now I am in love with the guy, but he's in a relationship. What do I do? I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at your question. It's just very funny to me. So you were in a relationship with him, you broke it off, but now you're in love with him, but he's in a relationship with someone else, and you're asking what to do. Okay, Mr. Nuggets, please. You're a guy, first of all. So what do you think is ideal in this situation? Yeah,
but it's a lady that asked. So I'm wondering why.
Yeah, but she's asking about a guy, like what should she do? So you are the guy. If you know, what would you how can the girl get you back if you were in that situation?
The chances of her ever getting me back is almost zero.
Yeah, girl.
And
why?
And that's because you've already communicated rejection for one reason or the other. But then, because we don't have exact background of how things transpired, it might be difficult to make an informed submission on that matter entirely. But I don't know now. Speaking of scripts, that's of available information from the question, I would say that I think it goes back to something I've always said, that most times many ladies go for who they like, not who likes them. So it's probable that when the guy was making all the advance and all that, or when they were even in a relationship, she didn't like the guy for maybe one or two things the guy was not or wasn't doing. But leaving the guy made her see maybe the errors of her way, having interfaced or interacted with other people. That's a possibility. Another thing is one theory that I've always heard, but I don't know, maybe we could test it now, which is that women tend to find a man that is off the table attractive, because as guys we often joke that when you're single, you're in fact you're just there, nobody notices you. But the day you get serious, or you start to have something serious, or even you get married, the advances start coming from the lady. So I don't know how true that theory is, not considering I'm not a lady, but maybe that's one of the things that's in place here too. But
you're a guy, so since we started being together, how many of your ex have wanted to come back? Oyako face.
No, me, I don't.
Is you that Kuku brought the analogy? Oh yeah, now let us test the theory. How many of your ex has come back? Or how many other women have been putting their eye on you?
But at least, loosely speaking, now it took you and this guy helping me to identify one or two people then. So I think it happens. It does happen sometimes. Like that. So I don't know, because we don't have all the information. But to sum it up, what I'm trying to say is it might not be in your best interest to force things to happen. If you guys were meant to be together, somehow you'll find your way back. But if not, you may have to count your loss. It's one of those things.
Well, I think for me, the first question is, what made you break it off? Because sometimes, you know, you might be in a relationship with the person and the person is giving you certain traits that made you break up the relationship. But now, maybe because the guy is richer, or it seems more attractive or something like that, you feel like, oh, now you want to go back. Because as that thing that you broke up with him for, especially if it's character-wise, are you sure that it has changed? However, if you broke up with him because of, or maybe he didn't have money and now he has money, or maybe he wasn't, or maybe because maybe you saw somebody that you thought was better and now the person has proven you wrong, and now you feel like you want to go back to where you're coming from. Now, obviously, my sister, you are late, okay? I never had just like my husband said, I think that's it. If it's meant to be, it will be. I don't think you should break up anybody's relationship because you are now in love with the person. Yes. I think give them their boundaries. I mean, you can, this is just to say, you can always reach out to the guy to let him know that, listen, I made a mistake, blah blah blah. I don't even think that is healthy. That's what I don't even think you should do that, to be honest. I'm just looking for trouble. Because I'm imagining if I'm the girl that the guy is dating and I see that kind of a message, because again, the guy can take advantage of you. Exactly. I remember a guy I dated once, and he broke up with me, right? And there was a time he was trying to come back to me, and I kind of still liked him, but I realized that the reason why he was coming back is not really because he wanted to be with me. It was because he wanted something from me, right? And so that's what I'm saying. I know sometimes. You said what?
Unfinished business.
Well, exactly. So guys might take advantage of you. Trust me, once you've broken up with a guy and he's in a new relationship, the likelihood that he's going to go back to you or get back together with you or want you back is very slim, okay? Unless he comes to that conclusion by himself. But if you approach him, he's just going to, use you for fun. and go back to the person is dating, or even go to somebody else. So I don't think it's healthy. So if it's meant to be, it will be. You can pray about it. I don't think you should approach him or do anything to destroy his relationship. You can pray about it if you really feel like this is it, and if it works out, fine. If it doesn't, just look ahead. You will definitely find someone that is good enough or even better than the person for you. Sometimes you look at what you lost and you think that is the most treasured thing because you are impatient to see what God has for you, right? So just be patient, you know, and keep your cards open. You never can tell. The person that you might end up being with might be even better than what you left, okay? So I don't think that it's a good idea, right? So just like my husband said, if it's meant to be, it will definitely be, okay? The next question I have is from Musumola, and she said, Mr. Fash, it's been a while. Can't wait to hear from you. Oh wait, I think I skipped.
Are you wearing your glasses?
No, I am not. If you want to talk to me direct. If you want to insult me direct. Don't be cutting corners. Don't be cutting corners.
It's no insult.
No, it's not, because I can see my phone. I think I scrolled. This one said, what are the flaws that he sees in you? Mr. Fash, what flaws do you see in me? Open me up to the world.
That's a very funny question. I'm wondering what the person wants to use the information for.
You guys already know that there are some questions my husband is always skeptical about answering. No, but I'm interested. What flaws do you see in me?
Well,
do I have any flaws?
The thing is, there's no one that is perfect, not even me, not my wife. We are imperfect as they come. So do we have our imperfections? Yes. I'd rather call it imperfections than flaw. So yes, we have our imperfections. Were we better version of ourselves since we got married to each other? Definitely. So it's a continuous thing. It's a progressive thing. So I don't know what you want to use the information for, but I don't know.
Anyways, if you want to hear the answers to that question, if you watched the video that we did, the last video, I think it's one of the last videos we did before we traveled. On my birthday day, I was wearing a purple, nice, you know, clothes like that, purple or pink. Anyway, pink. Yeah, we talked about this question in that video. I'm going to leave it linked up here if you want to watch it, because we talked about the things we would like each other to do better, basically. So if that's something you're interested in, go and watch that video, okay? Anyways, the next question that I have here is Mr. Fash, it's been a while, can't wait to hear from you. That's from Osumola. Tolani said, why do I attract the kind of men that I don't need or want, majorly on serious men? Ha. Why do I attract men I don't need or want? Hey, Mr. Fash, what's did not get you out for us right here?
I think first of all, I'd like to correct her phrase. She's not attracting them, they are attracted to her.
What's the difference?
The difference is, if you say you're attracting them, there's deliberateness to it. You can't attract something unwittingly. You would have to do something to attract something that way. So they may be attracted to you for one reason or the other. I don't know you enough, but off the top of my head, I would say that what kind of vibe do you exude? I know that you're you, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be you. I know that you have preference of doing things in a certain way or acting in a certain way, but you'd have to, if you have a sibling or a cousin or maybe a trusted male friend, ask them what kind of vibe you exude. Because there are some ladies that, through no fault of their own, just have this sexual appeal. And so that means that most times guys will come and meet them, they will preposition them just for nonsense. And some will even go to the point of being vulgar about it. So that's why I said, what kind of vibe do you exude? Then do you draw boundaries? Are you maybe a friendly person? Do you draw boundaries? Do you there's this thing, especially about people that are very congenial. They are friendly. They smile a lot. So people tend to misrepresent their overt act for something that it is not. So while I will not say that you stop being who you are, you'd have to decide on or limit the kind of persons that you can show that part of yourself, because I mean, it's just like the fact that I'm a very playful person now, let's say, does not mean that everybody gets to see that playful side of me. So that's just it. So I don't have enough information, but from what I can see, from what I've experienced, sometimes it does happen like that. So so check yourself, check the kind of vibe you give. Are you playful? Do you draw boundaries? Are there kind of discussions you have with men or guys regularly that that can create a wrong impression about you and all that? Maybe let's start from there.
Okay, I think I agree with what my husband said. I think one other thing that you also need to look at is who are the kind of people you surround yourself with, right? Because if you're constantly around unserious people, you will always attract them, because those are the people that you have around you, right? So you want to like look at your environment, look at the kind of people that you are always hanging out with, right? And also, what, like my husband said, the kind of vibe. I know vibe is a very overused word and sometimes it can be ambiguous, but your vibe could be the way that you talk, your mannerism, the way you dress, the way you because I know we always say my body myself, my body my right, so but sometimes the way you carry yourself, the way you dress determines the kind of people that will come around you, right? And a man who is serious to settle down has an image of who he wants his wife to be, and sometimes you say it's the heart that matters, but honestly, nobody can see your heart. Nobody can see the content of your heart, right? So they look first of all at you physically. So if your person is overly like clingy, you're always laughing and touchy. I have a friend like that, and I know she's always misunderstood. She's a person that she's very, very, that's just who she is. When she's around you, she would laugh and hit you and all of that, and sometimes you might see it as her being flirting, and that's not what she's doing. She's just like that. But I've had to like speak to her. You cannot be doing this to every guy, especially because you're at that age where you're looking for someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with. You can't be going around, because guys will get the wrong image or get the wrong impression about you. The way you carry yourself, how the pictures you have on social media, those are the vibes that my husband was talking about. If I go on your social media platform, now imagine I'm a guy who sees you and I like you. My husband, the first thing he saw about me, he went to my social media page, he saw the contents that I put out and stuff, and he felt like, oh, this is a serious minded person, and he approached me. But if every time on your social media platform you're always shaking bum wearing tight clothes, wearing stuff like that, that might be passing a wrong message to a person. But also check your personality, right? How do you carry yourself? How do you want people to see you? You want people to see you as a serious person. Do you carry yourself as a serious person? The things you put out, does it appeal as a serious person? And sometimes it might also be because you are overly serious. Also, that could also be a reason why people are not approaching you. So there's just a boundary, like my husband said, like a line where you should look at. If you are too serious, people don't want to approach you because they feel like, this one, she carry her face every time. I have another friend who, thank God now she's different. When I just knew her, she was always frowning her face, like she has this bitch rest face. So you have to look at yourself in the mirror. How is your demeanor when you're around people? When you're free, when you're comfortable? Sorry, you said what, babe?
I said, this is your friend. Did they catch you? I know they.
Anyways, don't worry, they know already. Something we talk about. So how is your demeanor? How are you naturally, right? So, and then the people that you surround yourself with, those are things you should look out for. And then once you are able to identify why, then you change. Either you change your environment, or you make, go out to where you find serious people. It's not you won't find serious people in the club, because the same thing that brought you to the club is what brought them to the club. You won't find them, so you go to places where you mind them. Maybe in the church, you go out to, places to have brunch. Don't always be inside your house, right? And then where are you finding all these unserious people? Maybe you should leave that environment and move to a serious environment, right? So those are the things you should also look out for, and also check within to see what vibe or aura are you giving with everything we've already spoken about. Okay, all right. So the next question that I have here, this one, I think we should, because this person asked like 5 questions in one. I don't know if we should skip that and come back to it. I think there will actually be a part 3 of this video because people asked a lot of questions. Okay, so let me try. Okay, so the first question is, the person is Cynthia, and she said, I can't wait for this epic video. Okay. The first question, she said, what is your take on phone sex among Christian couples in long distance marriage? Mr. Fash, come and open your bum.
Okay, for a minute I could not get it. Come again.
Okay, so she said that, what's your take on phone sex among Christian couples in long distance marriage? Yeah, now. Okay,
I think there are, how do you call it? There's this phrase that I wanted to use. Necessity is the mother of, she is the mother of invention, be what they call it. If that's the way both of you and your partner can keep stay intimate in one way or the other, or keep the vibe going, I don't think there's anything wrong in it. I think if it becomes obsessive or something, maybe there is danger, but as long as it's what both of you are comfortable doing, and I think it's okay. I mean, you just have to keep the fire going, isn't it? You have to stay connected emotionally, psychologically, and if you can say it, erotically. So I think it's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what you're asking, if I want to open my bum bum.
I didn't say anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I think my husband has answered it in a very diplomatic way. I think it's I think everything he said is correct. I don't think there's anything wrong in it. The Bible says marriage is honorable and the bed undefiled. And your bed does not have, and you've heard me say it a lot, doesn't have to be your physical bed. There are ways you and your husband can choose to spice things up, and especially if you're in a long distance marriage, it can get very, very difficult, especially when you don't have that physical intimacy, right? So just devise means to help yourself, especially when the other person, maybe one person is feeling it, or the two of you are feeling it, okay? Because as a woman, there are certain times in the month that you're feeling it more than more than usual, right? Or your husband is feeling it, and you have to devise strategies to help yourself feel good about yourself. But I always say that, like my husband said, I like what he said about don't let it get too obsessive, because that's the thing about phone long distance marriage intimacy, because you are, in as much as you are together connecting via phone, you are also satisfying yourself by yourself, right? And sometimes that can get very addictive. So it cannot be something you're doing every time. You cannot be doing it the frequency that you'll be doing the main act if the two of you were together. So maybe, I don't know, whichever works for you guys, just try to space it out so that you don't get to so you guys have that conversation and do as much as your other partner is open to, right? As much as your partner is open to, basically. And yeah, and also be safe, okay? The internet is not that's the other thing. The internet, every time you're seeing leaked video, leaked whatever, so you need to be very, very careful about the kind of content you leave on your phone when you are doing things online. Just put some appropriate security measures, okay? But when you're talking about Christian wise, I don't think there's anything wrong in it, right? So the next question is, can you explain submission as a wife in a more simple term? Submission as a wife. Okay, let me say, from a man's perspective, babe, what do you think submission as a wife should be?
They just ask submission as a wife. What's it concerned?
No, I want to know from it, because when we talk about submission, people always, it's always a problem because they are always seeing it from a man's perspective. So I'm asking, from a man's perspective, what do you think submission for a woman should be? Or you want me to answer first?
Yes,
go first. Okay. You think I'm setting you up?
No, not at all.
Let me see if this so to me, I think submission is giving honor to your partner, right? It's giving honor to your husband, so to speak. It's ensuring that, you know, in as much as you have your own thoughts, you have your own opinions, you have your own mindset, your own thinking and whatever, you always, you know, because whether you like it or not, when it comes to Christianity, there's a hierarchy to marriage. The husband is the head, the wife comes next. It's God first, the husband, the wife, and the children, right? So your husband is your head according to the Bible. So submission is, I have my own whatever, but when my husband says this is where we should go, I will tell him, listen, I think this is not the right thing to go. This is not where I think we should, you know, that's not the way I think we should go or what I think we should do. I think if we do it this way and this way, it would be better, right? And if the husband insists that this is where we are supposed to go according to, you know, the Bible, as a wife, I am supposed to submit to him and, you know, and let him lead, right? Of course, if it's not something that's going to harm me or harm my kids or harm him, right, or harm God or harm, you know, my relationship with God or stuff like that. So I think submission is just something that is very dicey. A lot of people assume submission is subjugation. It's, you know, making the man rule over you. Some people think that submission is you don't have a voice and you just follow the man wherever he's leading you. So, but I don't think that is it. I think everything depends on the person that you end up being married to, right? If you're married to someone who's, and that's why I like how Pastor Mildred always says that as a woman, you choose who you choose to submit to, right? The Bible didn't say submit to every man, it says submit to your own husband. So when your husband is saying that I think we should do this, right, and I might have a different opinion, I will not say because I have money or because I am a celebrity or because I can do it, then I decide to go and do my own and ignore him. No, when God says submit, God did not give a caveat, right, that, you know, if this and that. God just said, why submit to your husband? That's what I have to say, because at the end of the day, it is well. Mr. Husband, what do you think? What's funny?
Hey. No, you just went on a spree.
I did.
Yeah, but okay. I think you've about captured everything. At least the crux of the matter. Mm-hmm. The truth is, submission is not within this context. If we want to do it biblically, it was not meant to be easy or simple or straightforward. Mm-hmm. It will test your resolve. It will test your. It will test a number of things. Say. It will test many things. So if, for instance, you have an idea of how things should go, but your husband is insistent for whatever reason that this is how it should go, it will take you understanding your place to, even while objecting, still not actively work against what he has said or directed that you guys should do. So like my wife said, sometimes you may have to employ the power of prayer to, you know, to get him to, you know, turn around, or, you know, the prayer might actually even help you to get more clarity or understanding. I don't know. But I just wanted to put it out there that when the directive from the Bible says, husband, love your wife, wife, submit to your husband, one is not... one does not qualify the other. So it's not like when you love me, that's when I'll submit to you, or when you submit to me is when I'll love you. No, you're supposed to do your own part. Mm-hmm. and you know, like that. And two, it's going to be tasking, because it's easy to submit or love your wife when everything is fine, when both of you are smiling or laughing or you're feeling lovey-dovey. Mm-hmm. But when you're upset with each other or things are tensed, that's the true test of all of those things. So if your love is constant, since the topic is submission now, see, if the only time you submit is when things are fine, mm-hmm. then you are not practicing submission. That's selective submission at best. Mm. So I think that about captures it. Yeah,
I think so too. I think for us, it's... when you get married to the right person, submission is easy, right? Well, it's not easy. Don't let me just say easy, because sometimes people think easy is because it's the right person. Because sometimes when you
it's easier.
it's easier, yeah, that's the word, because sometimes you are controlled by your anger and by your emotions sometimes, and sometimes you even know that that thing you are saying you should do is not the right thing, but because you are upset, you want to say, because we are humans, right? So there are seasons like that, but you also know who you got married to, you know how to talk to the person, you know how to approach the person, yeah. So for us, when we have difficult situations that we have opposing views on, we always table the matter. Sometimes we'll argue over it, and then we'll go to bed, or we'll go and it will take some time and pray about it, and we'll look for where's the middle ground, where do we meet in this, right? And then at the end of the day, I'm not going to go and do my own, because I like the way Pastor Video always says, submission is, even though I choose not to. So it's a different thing if, because you can do it, like she always gives this example that I want to go out. My husband said I shouldn't, and I have the money to go, and I choose not to go. It's different from when I choose not to go because I'm honoring him. It's different from when I don't have the money. I'm expecting him to give me the money, and he said I should not go. I now not go because I know that he's the one that will give me the money. You understand the balance between that? So submission is not that I don't have the will to do it. I have the will. I can do it, but I'm choosing to honor you as my head and not to do it, right? So when a man loves a woman, submission is easy. It's easy for her to submit. But whether love is not there or not, that's why you choose who you submit to. You are asked to submit, right? So anyways, his third question is, can you quit your career as a man or a woman for family? Are you talking about us personally? Are you asking that, is it right? I don't think there's a right or wrong answer for that, but I think for us, I don't know for well, I know for you, but okay, wait, babe, what do you think? Can you quit your career as a man for your family, to be a full house husband?
No. Yes, sir.
You don't want to be a full house husband.
Reality,
yes, go ahead.
Reality and fiction are reality and fiction are different. I know that in the Western community, it's a okay thing, but not really for us. When I say us, I mean Africans now. The truth of the matter is, putting it out there, there's the level of affection. Men are loved in this part of the world because of capacity or what they can do, or potentials. So there's the affection you are going to feel from your family or your spouse. Most times is not just because you are fine or you know how to dress well. It's based on capacity and all those ones and I want to put it out there that even at the risk of sounding controversial, that women are not created to bear the burden for the family. They could help, they could stand in if you are inadequate for one reason or the other, but they are not meant to be the one that will do all of that while you are just that's not to say that the role of homemaking or whatever is child's play. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort. So, but you're not going to get fulfilled as a man if you do that, most likely, because our genetic creation or formulation attaches weight to having something to do. That's why when men gather to talk, 9 out of 10 times they are talking about work, how hard they work. You see them boast about the kind of work they have done and all those ones and all those ones. So I don't know how you're gonna make it work. It's going to it's going to demand a lot from you, and it's not going to be easy to undo, both on your part and your partner's side, because you may tend to start to interpret everything along the prism of it's because she's the one making the money. If she objects to something that she normally would have objected to, you would start to pick offense. You know, those kind of things are always there or would always be in the background. So I don't know what the motivations are at the moment, or what is driving you towards that kind of thing. But if you can make it work, at least I know that there are peculiar situations. I can recollect firmly that while we were in the university during my diploma, I had a hostel mate whose elder sister was the, you know, breadwinner for a lot of years. And it was not because the husband was lazy or one thing. It just happened. And for a lot of years it was like that, but somehow they made it work. What I knew was because the lady was complaining that even when you want to take something from the house, maybe an old piece of something, then you want to pick that, her sister will insist that, wait, let me ask my husband. And you know, it was confusing for her, because you know, everybody knew that she was the sister that was, you know, all those one, but they couldn't understand it. And really, sincerely, my understanding of it then is different from my understanding now. But eventually things came through. I mean, pulled through for the man. He got a very nice international job and everything, you know, and all that. So it's not that simple to do, but there are people who can make it work depending on their personalities, their agreement, their understanding, and I think with the help of God. But just on the whim of it, to just say I'm going to quit, be a full-time house husband for the rest of my life, my brother, may God help you, sir.
Well, he said for family reasons, but I understand what you're saying also, babe, that, you know, for a man, work is different. Work means different thing for a man and a woman. You know, women want to make money. There's nothing bad in making money, right?
Okay. Sorry, babe. Let me add one other thing. When he's saying for family reasons, I'd like to understand. Let's say, for instance, now, I live in, like, I know someone that thing happened to. The man lived in whether Oshogbo or Yo or something like that, but the wife was here in Abuja and having a good job and all that. And so when they got married, he had to leave wherever he was to Abuja, because Abuja is obviously a better place and all that. And for a period, he didn't have that much to do. He was just, you know, managing in order to make ends meet. If that is the definition of for family reason, it's understandable. If, for instance, too, the wife does certain kind of job that doesn't have some kind of room, and let's say, for instance, they have a child that needs special care or attention, and maybe the man is not making that much money, or if the wife quits the job, the income will not sustain the family, especially in the interest of what they need to sort out, maybe with the child's health situation and all that one. Wisdom says that both of you come to an agreement. It doesn't mean there won't be friction, but at least if there is that agreement, it will help in those trying period. Maybe within those kind of, you know, prism or those kind of understanding, it's perfectly, maybe it can work. Yeah. But still, I will still say, go help you, my brother.
No, but if, God forbid, if you, I mean, anyways, these are things we have discussed before we got married, so I already know his take on stuff like that. But obviously, if there are extenuating circumstances, like my husband said, he will say whatever he said. You know, if there are circumstances that cannot be helped, such as, you know, your wife has a better job, and for some reason one of you have to stay home with your kids, I don't think there's anything wrong in the man choosing to stay back with the kids, right? It doesn't mean that you have to quit your career, right? For me, I can switch career. I absolutely have a lot of honor and respect for Full Housewives. I respect what you do, and, you know, all of that. But personally, I don't see myself being in that situation. I don't pray that I find myself that I absolutely have to be a full housewife or a full house mother or whatever. That's not just because I believe that I have more calling on my life than that. But if I have a job that is very, very demanding, that I don't have time to spend with my family or my kids, and, you know, and that I would not mind switching career or switching a job, get something more flexible. Because for me, it's not about the big job or the managerial role or the VP role. No, it's, am I fulfilling purpose? Am I able to fulfill purpose as a mother and fulfill purpose in the marketplace, right? And I think it's the same thing. If, for instance, your wife is look at someone like Okonjo Iweala in Nigeria, and a lot of successful women like Ibukwa, Woshika, and the rest of it, we don't hear, when they come out to talk about their husband, you know that the husband is doing a lot in the home front. It doesn't mean that they abandon their career. They can, you know, look for more creative ways to pursue that career path. Like, I've seen husbands who, you know, normally would go to the office, whatever, but because the wife has a more successful career or is even more passionate about her career. She's, you know, she's pursuing her purpose. But me, I'm just doing a job to earn money, right? I wouldn't ask her to quit because, you know, something that is you know that this is purpose for her, this is passion for her and all of that, for me to continue a job that I'm frustrated at. So why not look at other ways where I can be more flexible, I can do my job and still be at home and help with the kids and all of that, whilst, you know, temporarily, while she, you know, does whatever she do. At the end of the day, it depends on the kind of person that you get married to, right? Those are things you discuss before you get married. I think that we'll continue this in another video, like from this question and the remaining questions that we have, because this video is already above 40 minutes and I won't want it to get too long. We'll answer the rest in another videos. All right, so anyways, thank you guys so very much for watching. Until we meet again, remember to subscribe, remember to like this video, remember to leave a comment, to share this video. You never can tell who you'll be helping. So yes, until we meet again, I still remain your favorite host, Victoria, and this sweet man that is joining me today is Wally. I thought you said Mr. Nugget again. Anyways, guys,
no, Sivina, because you called me Mr. Nugget that time.
We'll catch you guys in the next one. Okay, have an amazing day. Bye.